you okay?
Oh no, what is this?
This doesn't look good for Tennessee fans.
You guys have tried to bury Tennessee, and it looks like, is this Tennessee in a casket? My goodness. We need some clarity here. Paul. We also have pallbearers, by the way.
Yeah. This is beautiful.
Who's in there? Kind of afraid to look.
Me too. I don't do well with caskets.
Do we
Guys,
open
get it open. Oh. Let's go! Oh, my mom goes in the...
Revived and resurrected by DKI Apex Restoration. This is Gold Ball Sports, episode 4. Better late than never. Appreciate you tuning in live on Facebook on this Monday night. Along with our producer Dave Myers and Ken Keller, I'm Scott Chastain. We have got a fact-filled, drama-enhanced program for you tonight. Much of our content based on the third Saturday in October. We'll step to the podium, hand out participation trophies, spotlight the worst moments of the sports weekend, and make our picks for this coming week's games. But first, I got a little something. You know, everybody makes videos now. Everything's video. I sit and watch Vol Twitter for 3 hours today. Just great, creative video producers everywhere. What we lack in this day and age is lyrical content. What we lack is the spoken word, the written word. That's what we're falling short of. So stay with me. The game is late. The clock is ticking. It's all come down to 2 kids kicking. One is going to make it, one is not. Remember, Shady said you only get one shot. The stage is set as big as it can be with Game Day, Nation, even Marty and McGee. The eyes of college football on one blessed spot. Shields, Watkins Fields on good old Rocky Top. The crowd so loud, the old stadium shakes. They scream and force Bama into making mistakes. Back and forth goes the lead. That fumble at the 7 makes orange blood bleed. Game is late. The clock keeps ticking. It all comes down to 2 kids kicking. But volunteers don't give up the fight. We got Hooker looking Heisman-like. They can't cover Hyatt. He's too fast. It's time to bury the ghost of the past. Rise up, Vol Nation. Live up to the hype. The tide is wounded. It's time to strike. One kick sails wide to the right. 15 seconds left to finish the fight. Game is late. The clock keeps ticking. It all comes down to 2 kids kicking. Mark it at the 32, 1st and 10. Hooker surveys how Bama will defend. He finds Keaton for 18. The ball's at midfield. First down Vols and the passion builds. Back to pass. He connects with Brew. Only one play left as the clock shows 2 seconds, that is, but that's long enough. West Coast Chase is mentally tough. The game is late. The clock is ticking. It all comes down to 2 kids kicking. McGrath cleared the crossbar by maybe 3 feet, but in a game of inches, that can't be beat. They stormed the field just to be a part of a massive celebration that includes cigars. Time ran out. The clock stopped ticking. It all came down to 2 kids kicking. The streak is over, buried and dead. The Vols won despite Peyton's big head. This one will live on like the Gators in '98. Bring down the big dogs feels really great. Play on, Dixieland Delight. Play on Rocky Top deep into the night. The final horn sounds, the Vols deliver. the goalpost into the Tennessee River.
Oh, man. Dude, for once in my life, I'm absolutely speechless. That was unbelievable.
I like them apples, homie.
That's unreal.
It all came down to two kids kicking.
It all came
That
down
was
to
it.
two kids kicking.
That was it.
Man, you wrote that.
I wrote that
We
Sunday
got
morning.
Dave working with you there. That's unbelievable. Wrote it Sunday morning.
I wish I could say with whiskey eyes and ashtray breath like Jamie Johnson, but neither one of those are true. But
Man, that's incredible.
yeah,
You
yeah.
guys can do something with that. That's a real deal right there. That is the real deal. I got a surprise later in the show, but I don't think I can top a rap show. But that's pretty awesome, man.
Ken, what about the Vols? What about the University of Tennessee Volunteers?
Well, congratulations to the Tennessee Vols. I picked Alabama to win for the 16th time in a row. So, the last time Tennessee won this game was 2006 when Nick Saban was a Miami Dolphin. So it's been a long time. iPhones were not even made in 2006. So, man, that shows you how long it's been. So, the Tennessee Vols got that albatross. They got that amulet. They got that necklace. That big script A broke it off and threw it in the Tennessee River. It's gone.
Well, let's talk about the game.
Let's talk about it.
All right, pre-game. Like I said, SEC Nation, Marty McGee, game day, everybody there. Most of the expert pickers picked the Vols. Coach Corso did, all that sort of thing. If you have not seen videos of the pregame of the Vol Walk and just that area down there around the stadium, you got to check it out. Some people are saying 250,000 people may have been down there Saturday in Knoxville. It's just unbelievable lead into a game, and then wow, it just lived up to all the hype. I do want to point out that I watched last week's episode today, and I won the debate.
Well, yeah, what you did.
I mean, I don't want to be too
I think
cocky
you
about
did.
it, but all your points got shot down. That
Not all
great
of them.
secondary
Not all
that
of
was
them.
going to cover the Vols receivers, that didn't work out so well, and
No.
and that Sheeta package really didn't put a whole lot of damper on 567 yards of total offense. But
True.
we'll get to that.
It's true.
That was last week. This week, we got a game to talk about. Started out fast. Vols started out fast. They seem to always start out fast.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on the key that I had last week. It was the 179.5 passer rating of Hendon Hooker versus the number one ranked pass defense, and that turned out to be no contest. But if you told me that Bryce Young would start and finish the football game and throw for 455 yards and Alabama would score 49 points, I would say no way they lose, because I would bank on Alabama's defense to hold Tennessee way less than 52 points. As it turned out, that was not the case.
A lot of mistakes, a lot of credit goes to 102,000 people in the stands, because I don't know if I've seen a game where it was more obvious that the crowd was making a difference. Nick Saban even said it post-game. We were tight coming out of the tunnel. He admitted it. They were tight, and you could see it. They looked a little tight the whole game, just kept making mistakes.
Well, Tennessee got off to a fast start. And, big 21-7 lead in that first quarter, and really jumped all over Alabama with big plays, and Alabama had as many penalties in the first quarter as they did points, exactly 7. And so, the way we've talked about it in high school football, at any level of football, to take away a home crowd is to jump up ahead, okay, and pour the steam on. Alabama did not do that. They were playing catch-up the whole game. They did not get ahead in this game till 4 minutes and 37 seconds left of the third quarter. So they were chasing Tennessee the entire time. So 21-7 first quarter. How were you feeling after the first quarter? I mean, really, I was surprised at the long bombs, the quick scoring strikes. 3 drives in that first quarter, Scott, Tennessee scored in less than 2 minutes each drive.
I wasn't a bit surprised by that. That's what we've done all year consistently. The surprise was that we could do it against Alabama. But 21-7,
Yeah.
I felt really good.
Yeah.
Felt like we were dominating. We were. We kept looking at each other, saying, "Just score every time. You can't lose.
Well,
just
and,
score every time."
You know, as an Alabama fan, what I was saying is, how in the world can you leave these wide receivers so wide open? You know, how are these guys getting 5-6 steps by you? It looked like the defenders even, you know, Tennessee, what they did is they went with wide split. So if this table's a football field, they set the receivers up wide, and it creates mismatches in the passing game. So what they did was put their fast guys in the slot and match them up in the middle of the field against Alabama safeties, and it caused problems all night long for the Alabama safeties.
So I have a couple of comments from Jared that I'd love to get your opinion on. One says Bryce Young showed he's a good quarterback, doesn't have receivers Alabama is accustomed to. The second is you can't win a football game with 17 penalties and over 100 yards in penalties. What do y'all think about that?
You could if you were that much better than a team, but you couldn't Saturday. And what was the first comment?
He said that Bryce Young's a good quarterback, just doesn't have the receivers Alabama's accustomed to.
Bryce Young's a great quarterback. He's the best quarterback in college football. But he doesn't have Julio Jones or Devontae Smith. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, and I would second that. You know, he is the best quarterback in college football. He's going to be the number one pick, I believe, in the NFL draft. And for him to come in, the question was all week, was he even going to play? I felt good just seeing him in warm-ups and going out on the field. I felt very confident that since he was playing that Alabama was going to win the football game, and that was one of my keys to victory. Secondly, we'll address the penalties later on in the show. Jared, hang around for that segment.
So 21-7, end of the first quarter?
Yeah, 21-7, into the first quarter. You know, Tennessee's in command. Tennessee receivers running wide open. Second quarter starts. Alabama trying to climb back into the game. So as the second quarter starts in Neyland Stadium, Bama had a critical play in the special teams that hurt them. Quavarius Robinson, there was a punt that Tennessee punted in Alabama territory, and actually Kool-Aid McKinstry should have came up and fielded the punt, let it bounce instead. The ball got in some traffic, did not touch an Alabama player. If it touches a Tennessee player, it's dead. If it touches an Alabama player, it's a possible fumble. He thought it touched an Alabama player, tried to jump on the ball. Scott, turnover number one of the football game, a big one. Special teams blunder for Alabama, uncharacteristic of the Crimson Tide there early in the second quarter.
As a Tennessee fan, that was just gold. You just don't get that when you play Alabama. And to get one of those, I felt like we had to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and so Tennessee converts, and they take their biggest lead of the game, 18 points. They go up 28-10. Jalen Hyatt, another burn of the secondary of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He just goes right by him, and that way the fourth touchdown of the night in less than 2 minutes for the Tennessee Vols. Quickly, they're up 28-10 and seemingly running away with the game. But this Alabama team and Bryce Young had no quit in them. You knew they were going to come back. Alabama, Scott, scores the last 10 points of the second quarter to make this a 28-10 game. A couple missed opportunities for Alabama. One of the big ones was Henry To'oTo'o had his hands on a tip pass, and the ball goes right through his hands. You got to make those plays. So that was a missed opportunity for Alabama. Henry To'oTo'o, the Tennessee transfer, had the shot at that. And then in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young goes back to pass at the 128 mark of the first half, and he's clocked helmet to helmet by the big O Amari Thomas. I'll have more comments on this later, but a huge play in this game, a clear targeting that was reviewed, not called, not even a personal foul on the play. Tennessee goes into the locker room up 28-20 at halftime. Scott, your first half impressions.
Obviously not a clear targeting. It was not called. There was no targeting. If you want to see a true targeting, look at last year's game and the targeting on Hendon Hooker. That was a real targeting. This one was not.
We'll
That's
do the
why
real
it was
review.
Not called.
We'll do the real review here in a little bit and look and watch video evidence, and we'll see if you come to that same conclusion.
I'll come to that same
I've got
conclusion.
some good angles for you.
That's great. I appreciate you
Yeah.
doing a better job at trying to convince me than CBS.
All right.
But
We'll get there.
There is no convincing. That was just another play in the second quarter. I did feel uneasy at halftime. It felt like that Alabama was starting to settle down. It felt like that Alabama was they scored the last 10 points of the second quarter. That's never good. They were going to get the ball to start the third quarter. I was very uneasy at halftime, leading 28-20.
Yeah, Tennessee big lead, 28-20. I like the way Bryce Young was playing. And, Jared referenced those wide receivers earlier. There were some drops. Trayshawn Holden, he dropped a pass right in his hands. In the first half, I never saw him go back in the game, number 11. But primarily these receivers are a lot of freshmen. Isaiah Bond. They got to transfer Tyler Harrell that did not play, that's still injured. But look, hey, you got to play with who you got. They had Jermaine Burton. He's a senior that transferred in from Georgia, was supposed to be a stud, and was really a non-factor in the football game. So they definitely do not have the receivers that they once had. So let's look at the third quarter.
Tennessee had 4 defensive backs out by the end of the game and was playing a walk-on.
Okay. Let's go to quarter number 3. Ready to go to quarter number 3? So at the 12-13 mark, the Vols, okay, there's a 4th and 2. I'm going to come back to that play later on in the show. 11-11 mark, Bama ties the game. So 11 minutes, 11 seconds in the third quarter. Alabama scores quick in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. Gets the 2-point conversion. We have a tie game. Alabama even finally from 0-0, now 28-28. They finally caught him, Scott, at the 11-minute mark of the third quarter.
And trust me, I feel confident right here. I speak for all Vol fans. We went, phew, when Alabama tied the game.
Yeah.
Because in our history, that just means here they go.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't fold because it took them less than a minute at the 10. That Alabama scored at the 11-minute, 11-second mark. Tennessee at 10-16, 10 minutes, 16 seconds. Hyatt burns Helms, 34-28. PAT missed. I was watching the ball game with a former Tennessee Vol punter, and he went ballistic when they missed the PAT and said that at that point it was going to cost them the football game, Scott, but it ended up not doing that.
Well, there's a lot of people that thought that. They usually do.
Yeah.
But when you got an offense like Tennessee's,
yeah. Well, when
tack
you
on a 2 later and make it up.
Well, when you have a close football game like that, snip and tuck, you miss an extra point, 30, that 1 point sometimes definitely comes back and bites you. So, still early in the football game, so we reached the 3:15 mark, and Hendon Hooker throws his first interception in 262 passes. DeMarco Helms gets that interception, and Scott, this game was 35-34. Alabama led after 3 quarters. How did you feel after 3 quarters of play?
Not disheartened, but not confident. Okay, Alabama's leading 4th quarter. Why would a Tennessee fan feel confident? There's a bunch that would say, "Oh, I've never lost faith.
Right,
I always believe."
right.
Well, sure, but come on, Alabama's up 4th quarter.
Yeah.
So it's fixing to happen again.
Yeah.
And the same thing in half a quarter here when Alabama goes up again.
Yeah, so a 4-quarter game. It goes all the way to the 4th quarter. The crowd's still into it. Back and forth game, man. 69 points after 3 quarters, and 1 point separates the teams. I mean, setting up for a furious and wild 4th quarter of action.
Well, if you bet the over, which was 66, you could just relax and enjoy because you already beat it.
Well, it didn't take long for Tennessee to go ahead in the 4th quarter. Less than a minute. Here we go again. Jalen Hyatt catches another touchdown pass. Tennessee does get that aforementioned 2-point conversion. They go
Princeton Fant.
Yeah, they go up 42-35. Scott quickly there, the first minute of the second half. And, that's what you want to do. You want to start out good the first 5 minutes of the game. You want to start out, certainly any quarter, in a tight game like this and score first in the 4th quarter, and they do that.
Yeah. The only thought there as a Tennessee fan, it's so tense that you barely allowed jubilation. Your only thought is, we got to score next time. I know they're going to score, so we got to score next time. That was my thought. Yeah. I knew you were going to score. Yeah. We got to score next time.
So Bryce Young leads Alabama back down, ties it up quickly, 42-42. Ball back in Tennessee's court. Hendon Hooker. Now, this is where I thought the turning point of the football game was. Now, Alabama had the game. Hendon Hooker attempted to run an RPO. He thought the running back was going to take the ball. He held on to it. The ball drops on the ground. Dallas Turner for Alabama picks the ball up, scoop and score to the end zone. Alabama up. Scott suddenly 49-42.
Ball just laying there on the ground.
Laying there, not
it was
moving.
shades of Clint Stoner
Yeah, it was.
and the Arkansas Razorbacks in 1998. Just laying on the ground, easy pickings. Alabama goes up 49-42. Oh man, it was so the reason we love this stuff is because the range of emotions.
Yeah.
And trailing 49-42 there in the fourth quarter, it was just dreadful. I mean, it was just miserable. It was just like, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and we just got kids that don't give up. You know?
Yeah.
We just got kids that don't give up. And Josh Heupel kept those kids motivated. You watch the sideline there. There's no panic. There's no coach going crazy out on the field. I hope we got that clip. There's none of that. I thought Tennessee stayed remarkably calm. Heupel's remarkably calm, and they scored a final 10 points.
Yeah, fast and furious. Last 4 minutes of the game. Tennessee's driving down the field, and the game's Alabama's up 49-42, and Alabama gets a interception in the end zone on a tip pass. Kool-Aid McKinstry comes out deep in Tennessee territory. A late flag shows up, Scott. They erase it. They call pass interference. Humongous call in the football game.
Yeah, it was, but it was offset by a pass interference called against Tennessee in the end zone, where it was obviously not a pass interference. So those kind of things offset. Anytime people start talking about penalties and stuff costing them the game, it's just, you just give that to the crowd.
It was an absolute game changer. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's a 14-point swing right there. If Alabama goes down, the pass interference not called, you got a 56-42 ball game, and it's over. It's over. But that's not what happened. Tennessee scores the touchdown. They tied up 49-49. Bryce Young did what Bryce Young does. He leads Alabama down deep in Tennessee territory. I believe they have the ball at the 32-yard line. They managed to get another yard or two and end up setting up the 33-yard line, 50-yard field goal. But the critical play before that, Jahmyr Gibbs dropped a pass, first down, had it right over the middle at the 22-yard line. Would have gave Alabama 11 additional yards and time to run out the clock. Some Alabama fans just wanted to punch the ball, run it 3 times, get 5 yards. Then Alabama wins or goes to overtime on the kick by Will Reichert. He misses it. They leave Tennessee 15 seconds on the clock, and that becomes a big problem, Scott.
Becomes a big problem because, as Josh Heupel said in his press conference, why would he consider taking a knee and playing for overtime when he's got Hendon Hooker? And that 13 seconds will forever live in Tennessee history. That beautiful 13 seconds with those 2 passes. And then, of course, McGrath did what he did. But those 13 seconds, man, they were just, time just stopped.
Yeah.
Because both times Hooker released the pass, you knew the guy was going to catch it. I mean, he was right there, especially the second one to McCoy. By the way, if you've seen that dude, man, he looks about 30.
Yeah,
Anyway, you knew he was going to catch it. It was just he turned like a basketball player and just shielded the guy off. But Hendon Hooker, I mean, that was the magic moment for Hendon Hooker. If he's going to win the Heisman, that's one they're going to look back at and just talk about forever.
Well, we said it on this show a couple of weeks ago that, for him to get in the real Heisman talk and not be a sleeper and become a bona fide candidate, he had to beat either Alabama or Georgia. He's done that. Now he's squarely in the mix. No doubt about it. And, you talked about the aggressiveness of Heupel. Went from multiple fourth downs. Had a 4th and 6. Went to it. Did not make it. Had that 4th and 2 in the third quarter. I'm going to address that here shortly that they didn't make. But he was very aggressive with the game plan, very aggressive with his passing, very aggressive going on 4th downs. They came in the game 11 and 14 on 4th downs. Alabama did a good job stopping them on 4th downs. But conversely, bad clock management by Nick Saban. Okay, you do not give a team 13 seconds left when you have the ball, first down at the 33-yard line. Inside a minute, you got to run. You got to bleed that clock out. You cannot afford incomplete passes. Run the ball behind your big offensive line, Jahmyr Gibbs. Take your chances with a 43, 45-yard field goal with 1 second on the clock.
So Sam has a comment online.
What's Sam have to say?
says the Vols will be in the Outback Bowl versus Michigan.
The Vols will be in the Outback Bowl versus Michigan. Well, that could happen if the Outback Bowl is the playoff game.
Well, that I would just suggest that's probably what he's saying, because Michigan, looked impressive. They're unbeaten, and so
I'm not
there's
aware that the
possibility-
Outback Bowl is part of the college football playoff rotation.
Well, then I guess he's figured on
I think
both
he's
teams
in-
collapsing somehow, because
Well,
Michigan and Tennessee
not
both
collapsing. I
undefeated.
think he's counting on Ohio State beating Michigan, somebody beating Tennessee, and those two teams going to the Outback
Well,
Bowl.
both those teams in the top four right
It
now,
could happen.
Michigan and Tennessee. So they're
Absolutely
squarely
could
in the
happen.
talk. Absolutely in it.
Absolutely could happen. All right. We're going to flow a little bit,
Yep.
and then we'll get back to the third Saturday in October. Let's go to the podium.
Let's go to the podium.
Let's go to the podium.
Podium time. We've got medals to hand out. Medals, medals, medals. I'll begin with my bronze medalists this week. The Motlow State Community College Bucks women's soccer team. I know that was really out of left field, but this team is exceptionally special. This team has won 11 games in a row. They've shut out 11 opponents on the season. They're 12-2 overall. They clinched the TCCAA regular season title. They're set up because of an annual rotation to host any playoff games that they play, all the way to the national tournament. Coach Andy Line, assistant Katie Reed, and the Motlow Bucks women's soccer team, you get my bronze medal this week. Congratulations.
A worthy recipient. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so bronze medal award winner here on episode 4, Bryce Young. Step up to the podium here at Gold Ball Sports. Got to go with my boy Bryce. Scott, there were questions. That was the big. We're on Twitter all week trying to listen to press conference. Is he going to play? Is he not? Conflicting reports. Chris Lowe finally came out Friday afternoon and said yes, he's going to start if he doesn't have a setback in warmups. I'll tell you this, Alabama fans. He showed great poise as he does, and he's a great competitor. He saved a safety in the first half I thought was a big play right on the back of the end zone. He scrambled for his life multiple times, was running for his life. He was 35 of 52 for 455 yards. Out of those 17 incompletions, he had at least 5 drops and threw 3 or 4 balls out of bounds. He was spectacular. Bryce Young, my bronze award medal winner here. Step up to the podium and get your bronze.
Good. I like that. Heck of a player. What a game. What a game.
And if he did not play, Alabama fans, you would have got beat. We would have got beat by 30 points. 25 to 30. I'm going to say 20 at least.
And as a
And on
Tennessee
that day,
fan,
Saturday, 20
trust
points.
me, it makes no difference how many points you win or lose by. It's all about the W.
That's right.
Silver medal from me goes to Tennessee wide receiver Jalen Hyatt. Easy choice, 6 catches, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns. They could not cover this guy. They couldn't even figure out where he was, much less cover him. He was open by 15 yards. If I had a piece of this bronze medal or this silver medal to break off, I would give it to the Tennessee offensive line, the most underrated part of this Tennessee team, the offensive line. Look at the yards they put up against Alabama. Look at the total number of sacks. Look at the time Hendon Hooker had to throw the ball. Look at the running game, 180 yards. We outrushed Alabama. Tennessee offensive line, Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah. And you know what set up that big Jalen Hyatt night was, the ability to run the ball and create balance. They did outrush Alabama.
Gotta
182 yards. That's a padlock
I
stat
wouldn't lie
right
to
there. Yeah, I mean, that's a padlock stat. If you come in this game saying Tennessee's going to outrush Alabama, you got to figure Alabama's going to be in trouble. But Jalen Hyatt is also my silver medal award winner tonight. He's in my number 2 slot right here. Jalen Hyatt looked like a Lamborghini running past Ford Pintos. Alabama's vaunted safeties, Malachi Moore, DeMarco Helms, and Jordan Battle. He just ran right by him. And it was never a match all night. Ran right by him and right past him. And also Brian Branch. He just left him in the dust. Those guys look like the Three Stooges in defensive backfield for Alabama. They created, Josh Heupel, got to give him credit, created mismatches in the secondary. Jalen Hyatt against Alabama safeties was no contest.
Tennessee's been doing the same thing all year.
Yeah.
It's not like it was anything new. You would think the greatest defensive coach of our lifetime would have a plan.
Yeah.
Something different than those safeties having to cover that slot guy, but he didn't. Okay, gold medal time. This is the biggie. Come on down, Vol Nation. I just need you all, hundreds of thousands of you, to storm the studio here, the DKI Apex Restoration Studio, and pick up your gold medal. Vol Nation starts with the president, Randy Boyd, smoking his cigar up in the press box. They ask him, "What do you think about this, Mr. President?" He says, "Go for it. We'll do it every year." To AD Danny White, comes in. What stones he had to bring in Josh Heupel. Tennessee fans didn't really know Josh Heupel when he came in. They weren't sure of that. It took guts to bring in Josh Heupel. But, this is bigger than all that. This gold medal goes to my father and my grandfather. This is the kind of victory that stays with people for generations. This kind of victory that gets told down generations. Ken always wants to tell us about the games he was at. The 89 game he was at. The 98 Florida game where the goalpost came down, he was at. You know why? The memories, man. That's what this was. This was that game where the 10-year-old kid in 60, 70 years, he's telling his grandkid, "Look at that picture. I was there. I was down on that field. I'm up on the goalpost. I'm walking down Cumberland Avenue. I'm throwing it in the Tennessee River." It's generational. I told you Friday night, we should all just enjoy the ride and not focus so much on the final score.
Yeah.
Now, on Monday, it doesn't feel that way,
Yeah.
does it?
No.
No, it was a great spectacle, and that's why the gold medal goes to Vol Nation.
Yeah.
But if we lose, it's all for naught. Would have been a great spectacle. Goalposts will still be there. Scars and whatever those kids got from jumping over the wall.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have them. It is all about winning and losing.
I feel another rap song.
It
coming
really
on.
is.
I mean, I think you need to start working on another rap song after that, Scott. That's pretty good.
Okay.
All right, so my
will.
gold medal winner is really a Lifetime Achievement Award. My gold medal winner today is former Tullahoma High School football coach and current athletic director John Olive. Step to the podium here on Gold Ball Sports. Last week, you were named the 2021-22 TSSAA Coach of the Year. A spectacular career, a mentor of young men, a great role model, instrumental in this community, active in this community, just a light that shines in the city. 15-0 last season, Tullahoma's 100th year. Scott, you and I were down in Chattanooga calling the game at Finley Stadium. What a fun time that was. They go 10-0 in the regular season, win 5 playoff games, 4 at home. John Olive, come up here and to the podium and get your gold medal here from Gold Medal Sports.
Well deserved. Congratulations, Coach. I'll tell you how things stack up. Okay, this Tennessee game, this Tennessee-Alabama game, it sort of depends on the rest of the season, but it is going to live forever. But it does not compare to being on the roof at Finley Stadium and calling that state champion, winning that state championship game last year. That is the sports highlight of my lifetime. This game falls in with about 5 other college football games. Yeah. But Tullahoma State Championship,
well, that
number
puts,
one.
That puts in perspective, partner. That's nice, man. That's really
gold
good.
medals.
Yeah.
Handed out. Participation trophy. That's something we like to give out when something just doesn't seem quite right. Yeah. Let's do that.
And one good thing. Trophies where participating simply just don't cut it, okay? And so Mr. Bill is going to join our participation trophy tonight.
Mr. Bill would like to thank Mr. Scott and Mr. Ken for allowing me this time to present my participation trophy. Sluggo says there are so many great candidates this week. Penn State, with their game-long imitation of Kenny Stabler's Run in the Mud. Clemson participating in the All-Cupcake Conference in what seems to be a stroll into the college football playoff. And Ole Miss defense for giving up more points at home to Auburn than they've scored all year. But oh no! Mr. Bill's participation trophy for this week goes to the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. A team record 17 penalties, many pass drops in key situations, and their defense giving up the most points since Sewanee in 1907. Boy, that was a long time ago. Even though Spot says the refs were really mean to them, they just couldn't get out of their own way. Reminds me of the time I was crossing the street and got run over. Oh no! Remember, kids, always look all 4 ways before crossing the street. Well, that's all for this week. And if you're ever in Sewanee, stop by High Point Restaurant in Monteagle. I've never been so full. Oh
no! Wow. Mr. Bill got a plug in there. I wonder if he's getting paid.
Yeah, man, how about that?
All right, your participation.
We're going to go with yours first.
My participation trophy has to go to Alabama head coach Nick Saban. Coach Saban, it's not about the game you called. It's not about the preparation that you took, getting your team ready. It's honestly about the way you act on the sidelines, especially on a one particular play where Alabama picked up a big penalty and Coach Saban just went absolutely nuts on the sideline, just tearing his helmet off. He's just so mad he can't stand it. You know, I'm proud that my coach has more composure than that. Nick was especially entertaining in his post-game press conference where he talked about the fact that we just can't stop him. We just can't stop him. Nick Saban, you personally get this week's participation trophy from me. You got a trophy there somewhere. Nick needs to get it.
Let's get the participation trophy up here. Take Mr. Bill back. Get our trophy up here.
All right. Participation trophy, Ken.
All right. Participation trophy for me. Okay. So Gold Ball Sports participation trophies simply don't cut it. Okay. So, Dave, cue up the picture of Mr. Jason Autry from Okaloosa County Public Works Department and current SEC official, along with the music. Let's bring in the clowns. Okay, so here we go. That's good, Dave. That's good, Dave.
Referee.
All right, so yeah. Jason Autry, you got his
he's up there.
Photo on there. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so ESPN was silent on it. The media was silent on it. Josh Pate at Late Kick Josh was silent on it. They didn't talk about the 17 penalties and the 130 yards that impacted this game. But I'm going to talk about it, okay, because I'm going to be the spokesperson for Nick Saban. And I'm going to talk about it right here on Gold Ball Sports. Hold on. Jason, let's go ahead and get your stickers on today. All right. I want to talk about some egregious calls made in this football game right here. I've never in my life seen such garbage calls in a football game, okay? So let's just start out. Here we go. I'm Jason Autry. There's the first one, first play of the game. Alabama gets a penalty on the kickoff. Okay, but we're gonna pick that one up. That one's not too bad. Let's go to talk about 7 penalties in the first quarter, 7 points. Let's go to the second quarter. I got a video for you to watch, and this is what Scott and I was talking about earlier. The 128 mark of the second quarter. Omari Thomas, the big O, comes in. Bryce Young set up in the pocket, leads with his head, goes helmet to helmet. You can see the side view of Bryce Young's head going straight backwards. You've got 2 replays, you've got 2 videos, and on one of them, Gary Danielson's going to go nuts and say, "Oh my, where's the flag on this?" Show those videos, Dave.
Done.
Okay, so how can anybody see that replay and say that was not targeting? Not only was it not targeting, there was not even a flag. Wait a minute, let me pick it up. Jason, Autry, and your crew, pick it up. You never threw it. Should have at least been a late hit personal foul, okay? There was another occasion that they grabbed Bryce Young by the back of his helmet and slung him down on the sidelines, which that's a horse collar technically. Even if you grab by the helmet, you can't do that, okay? So that was an egregious, overt call. Now let's fast forward to the third quarter. Tennessee has a 4th and 2 at the Alabama 42-yard line. The guy on the sidelines on down and distance marker, it's fourth down. And Tennessee goes for it 4th and 2. They get stuffed. They gain maybe a quarter or a half a yard at the most. The line of scrimmage to convert the first down is the 40-yard line. Tennessee, they stop play for 5 minutes to go back and go through the whole sequence to make sure they got the down correct. And they measure. You measure with it this far short and not even close on the sidelines. That stopped Alabama's momentum. It was a sudden change. They just got them off the field, and that was a 5-minute delay there, okay? Now I want to talk about this. Very disappointed in Tennessee taking Rocky flops. They accused Ole Miss of doing it last year. I've seen LSU do it multiple times. 7 Tennessee players dropped to the ground in critical situations after big plays, momentum-changing plays, or sudden change. Every one of those players came back into the football game. Tennessee got 7 built-in timeouts, essentially by that, and slowed tempo down for Alabama, which caused problems. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Dave, cue up the would-be interception that ended the game.
Mr. Bill would like to thank Mr. Scott
By Kool-Aid McKinstry. And so let's watch this play, because I want you to keep in mind, Go Ball sports fans, this flag was not thrown until Kool-Aid McKinstry ran 42 yards out of the end zone trying to get a pick six on this play. Watch this video.
It's rolling. You can talk over.
All right, so that play right there basically essentially ends the game. So Jason Autry, you wanted to be on TV. You was on it 17 times. You threw 17 flags and got to call it out. That's the biggest heist I've ever seen in a college football game since Danny Ocean and Ocean's 11 in 2001 when they robbed 3 casinos for $150 million. That was absolutely ridiculous. So I'm calling on the SEC commissioner, Greg Sankey, and the SEC office to review those 4 plays I just talked about and suspend Jason Autry and his crew for this week's games, all of them. I further make a motion, Mr. Sankey, that you disallow Jason Autry and his crew to call an Alabama game in the future and suspend the replay official who did not call targeting on Amari Thomas when 1:28 left in the second quarter, because you've endangered SEC quarterbacks, and that was a terrible call. We're supposed to be protecting quarterbacks. That was a targeting call, and you missed it. Jason Autry, let me shine this up with the flag you threw 17 times, buddy, because it's yours, and Alabama fans are going to remember you and your crew forever in Knoxville, October 15th.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Is that your
That's
participation
it.
trophy?
That's my participation. Jason Autry.
You seem really upset.
I was upset over it.
You really seem to
because
believe.
the video
Well, now
evidence.
let me speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
You just had 20 minutes. Give me a break. you seem to really believe that the officials had it out for Alabama and cheated them out of the game.
They were a major factor in the football game. Those 4 plays that I said, did you see incompetence in what they were doing on that? Have you ever seen
Do
a
you
play?
believe
Have
that-
you ever seen a play reviewed that's a 1.5 yard short on a run up the middle, or in? Have you ever seen that play reviewed before?
They
that
were
short?
trying to get the down and distance right.
And
know
they-
that. You know that's what they were doing, trying to get the down and distance right.
Okay, and you said
Gary didn't know, and
Yeah.
nobody knew what the down and
and you
distance
said
was.
you said on this show just a few minutes ago that was not targeting, in your opinion.
No.
Okay,
Did they call target?
that's all I need to know. So we stand different. It's
Does
like,
it matter?
It's like a coin. It's like
Does it
this.
matter?
What's that?
Does it
It
matter
doesn't
if it
matter.
was targeting
It doesn't
or not?
matter now, but it
doesn't
certainly
matter now.
impacted
So
the game.
why would you spend your precious lifetime complaining about things that, one, don't matter now, and two, you can't change?
Because we're seekers of truth and justice on Gold Ball Sports, and we call it the way we see it. And that's the way I saw it. It's like a coin that's got a heads or tails. You might see the tails. I might see the heads. I definitely saw that. Thomas had sacks and impacted that game in the second half. He should have been long gone. The O should have been for out Thomas, because he should have been thrown out of the football game. And the pass interference call, certainly. Did that impact the game? Absolutely. Every Alabama fan you talk to is going to say it was not pass interference. Every Tennessee fan is going to say it is. So we'll just agree to disagree. That's how we roll.
Which way did the flag go?
My participation award winner, Jason Autry, made that call.
It was
or his
pass
crew did.
interference.
That's what he called.
So you think he's like getting paid or something?
I don't know.
Think he's like getting the payout?
I don't know. I think it
throw
was a
the
brutal
game?
call. You flip it around and you see Tennessee get 17 penalties. I'll tell you this. I hope we play again December 3rd. Jason Autry and his crew won't be at that game, so we'll see what happens. I'll just lay the gauntlet
True
down.
Alabama
That's
right
right.
there,
Let's
folks.
go. Let's
Of
go for the rematch.
everything that you've heard so far.
Let's go for the rematch.
That's true Alabama right there to the core. The officials cost us the
Jason
game,
Autry.
and we'll get another chance to
Jason
beat you.
Autry.
Don't enjoy your victory, because the officials cost us the game, and we'll get another chance
They
to
were
beat you
terrible.
down the road.
They were terrible. That doesn't take away what Hendon Hooker and all the performance
You know,
they
it
had,
really
but,
doesn't.
but the referees
Doesn't
in that
take away
game
anything.
were pathetic.
They're not the story.
Yeah.
They are not
Be
the
glad
story.
you didn't have 17 on your team called.
We've
in the
had
way that
we've
was.
had penalty field games before.
Alabama.
I've never
and all
once
this. I
in
get
all
so
my
sick of hearing
35
that
years of
Alabama gets all the
broadcasting,
calls. You know what? That's a
Have
lie.
I ever
And
said
you
that
have
a game was stolen by the
I'm
referees?
directing this to Tennessee Nation.
But you're looking at me.
Tennessee Nation, okay? 66 penalties in FBS right now in college football. Number one. Guess
Number
who it is?
one, Alabama.
All right, there you go.
That's right. Number
There
one.
you go. Don't
At least
get,
you're
don't
number
give
one
me,
in something.
yeah. Don't give me the adage. Oh, Alabama
It's
gets all the
always
calls.
great for
No,
Alabama to be number one.
Alabama
in
did not
something.
get the call.
They
Saturday.
got to be number one in something. What is it? Penalties. Well, that's why they lost. God, they can't ever lose a game because the other team made a play or won it. It's always because Alabama lost it.
Be careful.
Not because
May
the other
play
team
again
won
this
it.
year.
I hope they play again this year. I hope they play
Be
3
careful.
times this year.
Okay.
I hope they play
I
in
do
the
too.
SEC championship game.
That's good.
And then I hope they play in the
Yep.
playoffs.
That's good. I hope they do too. That'd be great. We
It
have a
would be
rubber
great.
match.
Rubber match. There you
Rubber
go.
match.
There you go. And we might
Thrill in Manila.
Get Nick Saban on the field.
we might have a show that night. I did
think?
have requested multiple videos of Nick Saban. I want y'all to know I'm being discriminated against when it comes to requested videos. Ken gets everything he asked for.
Oh, boy.
I got nothing. So I got cheated out of tonight's show. Major League Baseball update. I want to get this in because all this going on, guys, we're just having a good time. Major League Baseball getting right down to the wire. Both the Braves and the Dodgers just absolutely blew it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers beat the Padres by 21 games. The Braves beat the Phillies by 14 games. How in the world are the Phillies and the Padres now playing for the NLCS?
Well, it playoff pressure is different, than regular season is.
And the Dodgers and Braves are there every year.
Yeah,
if they can't
I
handle
mean
the
that's
pressure.
that's humongous. I mean, the Dodgers and Braves out. Everybody predicted them to play in the National League, championship series, and now the Padres are there. It's kind of refreshing though to get new teams. You know how everybody screams for new teams in the college football playoff every year. You may have some this year with the shakeup going on, but San Diego's never won a World Series. We talked about that a couple weeks ago here on Gold Ball Sports. And the Philadelphia Phillies, hey, it's been a while for them too, man.
And you made that point.
Yeah.
And you know what I said when you made it?
That's crazy.
The Padres will never win the
Yeah,
World Series.
yeah.
All right, we've got to move a little faster.
Yeah.
The Astros are also in the ALCS. The Yankees and the Guardians play tonight. The winner will play the Astros in the ALCS.
Before you go on real quick, what about the Astros and the Mariners game? Was it last night or Saturday?
18 innings.
18 innings, sitting there 17 innings, 0-0 in a game, where they talk about the baseball being juiced up and all these big hitters and stuff, to have a shutout. Now, but to me, that's pure baseball. You got a shutout in the 17th inning, 0-0, man. I love that kind of baseball because every play makes a difference. A bunt, a ball down the line that could be called fair or foul, a ball that goes down, as a apparent home run, maybe that hooks just foul at the end or whatever. I mean, that's playoff baseball. There's nothing like it, man. It's awesome.
Okay, we've got a little segment that we call They Did What? Growing up, my favorite football team in professional football was the New York Jets. Jets, Jets. Joe Namath was my hero.
Yep.
So, the Titans have come in. I try to be a loyal Titans fan, but always enjoy watching the Jets in the background. And Sunday, because the Titans weren't playing, really enjoyed the opportunity to watch the Jets against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. My cousin, who is an avid watcher and listener of our program, Ken, down in Mississippi, he got to fulfill his bucket list, one of his bucket list items, to go to Lambeau Field and watch his beloved Green Bay Packers. He's loved them ever since we were little kids. Unfortunately, though, Green Bay, blocked field goal, blocked punt. They just looked pitiful. And the New York Jets are now 4-2 and a playoff contender. They did what goes to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They did what? They got their ass kicked by the New York Jets in Green Bay. That's what they did.
Yeah, Jets. And, me and Scott talk, but we don't reveal our secrets to each other because we want it to be spontaneous on the show, okay? He did not know who my participation award winner was. I did not know he was going to pick Nick Saban and, show a video of him throwing around on the sidelines, and he didn't know I was going to pick Jason Autry. So that's just the way we roll. But my winner, or this They Did What segment here, is Sauce Gardner. And it just happens to be, what game is that from? Lambeau Field. Sauce Gardner, the cornerback, the brash cornerback for the New York Jets, top 5 pick cornerback out of the Cincinnati Bearcats, played in the college football playoffs last year. After the game, he rubbed it in, salt to the wounds a little bit, or put a little sauce on that cheese, so to speak. So he goes to the stands and gets a cheese head and just scampers around the stadium, strutting around a little bit. So Dave's got a video of that. Yeah, Dave's showing a video of that. So check that out. Jets, Scott, New York Jets, 4-2 in their division. Can you believe it?
Hey.
Yeah, that's your boys, the Jets.
Not exactly the NFC East.
Yeah.
The division they play in. Real quick, Titans update. Mayor John Cooper and the Titans agreeing today to build a $2.2 billion dome stadium in Nashville. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be awesome. And I want to begin the campaign right now that the high school football state championships, when that dome stadium is complete, it moves to Nashville permanently and plays at that dome stadium.
Yeah, and it's also a possible venue for Final Four or college football playoffs. So that's exciting.
We're running out of time. Yeah. Let's have a down and dirty debate, shall we? Mr. Keller, do you believe that Tennessee beating Alabama was worthy of tearing down the goalposts?
Well, whatever floats your boat, Vol Nation and Vol Navy, if that's what floats your boat. But, just a couple points here regarding that question in this debate. Wait a minute. Hold up. Jason Autry's just thrown another flag. He threw another flag on Alabama. That's 18 because the goalposts from Neyland Stadium are missing, Scott.
I got to be Alabama.
So Alabama just got
Surely
flagged.
They did it.
Alabama just got flagged for missing goalposts. So, look, I was there in 2008. I would say that this win for Tennessee was bigger than that win. I know that Florida had just come off beating Tennessee 4 in a row, at least that I know of, but Alabama was 15 in a row. So this is the biggest regular season win since 1998, Scott. So I would submit to the jury that this is just a regular season game. I would say that this is not the SEC championship, and it's not the national championship. So I have to make a case and argue that no, Tennessee got a little too excited, and they took the goalpost down and threw them off in the river. So based on that, look, since 2010, every team that beats Alabama on the road storms the field. Okay, Alabama's the standard of college football. That's just the way it is. So, Scott, that's my case. I can't really argue with you. You're going to win this one in a landslide due to popular demand of Big Orange Vol Nation. So I'm going to turn you loose and let you go at it. I'm just saying it's a regular season game's my main point. And no, don't tear the goalpost down. The regular season game, but it was a big regular season game, I must concede.
A little tidbit most people don't know. You don't play SEC championship games at home.
That's true.
Another little tidbit most people don't know. You don't play bowl games or BCS playoff games at home. Hello? The only time you get a chance to tear down the goalpost is at home. Who else you going to do it against than when you beat Alabama after 15 years? Can you know they had no choice? That was predetermined. It was going to happen. We talked about it a little bit last week. It was already predetermined. CBS knew it. Everybody knew it. Have you ever seen CBS stay with a broadcast as long as they stayed with that thing?
No.
I thought they were going to just stay with it all night and follow those goalposts all the way down to the Cumberland River.
Yeah.
To the Tennessee River. I got to wonder, what happened to those cameras on those goalposts? Did you look at the goalposts getting torn down? Did you notice those $100,000 cameras on them goalposts? Whatever happened to those cameras? Yeah. We need one for Gold Ball Sports. If you bring it down to DKI Apex Restoration, Atlantic Street, Tullahoma, Tennessee, we'll take that as a donation and figure out a way to get you a tax credit. But yes, there's never been a more deserved time to tear down the goalpost. Florida was great in '98. One reason, because we went on to win the national championship. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but these are generational games. It's absolutely worth tearing down the goalpost for. It was a spectacle. The Tennessee brand is bigger today than it's ever been in the history of Tennessee football. We didn't just do that by beating Alabama. We did that by the spectacle that you saw all morning leading up to the game and that night after the game. Ken, I know you're hurt. I know it's a tough game to swallow. But will you admit that the spectacle was unlike anything we've ever seen in college football? We've never seen a college town do that.
Yeah. And it's going to help her with recruits. We all know that. I mean, it's going to give them such a big boost in recruiting. So it's exciting. We're going to see how, look, I've always contended the SEC is better when Tennessee's good. It's been a long, long time since Tennessee's been good, folks. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Scott's firing up the cigar. Hey, what's that saying? To victors go the spoils. Hey, he's entitled to do it, okay? But I will say that in those 15 years, Alabama never tore down a goalpost on Tennessee. Now, they did smoke some cigars. That's my last point.
That's their problem, not ours.
Yeah. So this is a tradition. It's a tradition that the winning team smoke cigars. We saw Bush Jones smoke cigars at Alabama. He never smoked them at Tennessee in the locker room against Alabama, but he smoked them in Alabama's locker room against Tennessee, Scott. Man, them things must be stale. You've been sitting around for about 15 years. They've been sitting around for 16 years.
Doesn't it?
Hey, can I give you a quick note?
I'm glad you pulled them out after 16 years.
Can I give you my gold medal?
Yes, Dave wants to give us a gold medal. Who's your gold medal, Dave?
City of Nashville.
Oh.
You know the Dallas Cowboys dome that they put so much joy and pride into was only $1.3 billion.
Jason Altree.
We're going to spend 2.2.
That's right.
Really?
We're going to have lounge chairs in that sucker.
Really?
All
right, that's going to do it for this edition of Gold Ball Sports.
Got picks.
We're done.
Okay.
We appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being part of it. Spread this thing around. We really need to get this thing spread around. Share it on Facebook. Like the page. Subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate all you who have subscribed. Share that on YouTube. Let's just get this thing working. It'll be up on YouTube tomorrow. We appreciate you tuning in for Dave Myers.
We're still good friends. We're still friends, right?
Still love you, man.
See you December 3rd, dog. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Hey, be good to each other.